You worked overseas and you worked with leading wealth management companies. We noticed since COVID that emerging managers and smaller investors are not finding an entry to the big checks from two different sources, and we see that most of the big checks, they go to the larger wealth managements, where we see today two of them, they crossed the $10 trillion in asset under management. Nobody asked them where they're allocating the money, but we know where most of it is being allocated. Where do you see the future for the emerging managers, for smaller companies to survive when they are raising capital for themselves?
That's a great question. Actually earlier this year, I was part of the panel with those big wealth management firms, and our opinions were completely different, because these are two different markets, just like you say, single family office, multi-family office. The same thing is big wealth management firm versus a small one. So the big one, the large ones, if you think, you can even think of Blackstone, KKR, Apollo, and so on, they can afford to sit on the sideline, right? They can wait. Their capital is fine. They will find an alternative. They will invest in something fixed income. They will generate those 7-8%. They are fine, but they cannot take an extra risk because the investor profile is completely different, and they have a reputation built. While as a smaller fund manager, you need to move. As an independent sponsor, you need to do deals. You cannot wait. You cannot wait for the interest to go down. You cannot wait for the best moment to do it. So you need to move. I guess actually defining, we are as an external asset manager, so in order to be able to offer to our investors, which are usually family offices or high net worth individuals, we need to have a clear value propositions. And we really need to make sure that the fund managers are leveraging the best skills and the expertise in what they do. So usually the very first thing I'm doing when I get them on board is rewriting the investment thesis, or most of the time fund managers don't even have one. So building an investment thesis on what are you actually going to do with the money you will get, and what are you best at? How are you going to leverage? Because you get to see, as a fund manager, you get to see so many shiny things, so many fancy things, new ideas, or everything, but they are, and you kind of forget that they are completely outside of area of expertise, and the risk of default is so much higher. So I guess just staying in your line and doing what are you best at, and then targeting based on your investment thesis, you will already identify your investor profile.
So in summary, you say, do I understand that the ultra wealthy will stay the course? Whatever they were doing before COVID, they still doing the same, or now they are more open? Just give us an idea from your daily experiences.
From my daily experience, I will say they are the same, or a bit more conservative even. They don't really jump into, because I think even technological advancement, they happened very sharply after 2021, and they jumped into investing into all fancy things they didn't have expertise in, so now they are coming down. And I can see one of the most recent deals we closed is actually in alternative energy, but we see so many projects in alternative energy, and they are all tackling different parts of it. It is a great idea. You have reduced costs, you have incentives, there is a global mission of moving towards an alternative and cleaner energy. But investors also understand that they don't have the right expertise to do that. And even if there are incentives, they're just they don't understand how there are so many players on the market, and in this type of asset class, you really need to be the expert or to work with experts to make the right investments. Otherwise, they prefer to stay away.
Thank you.
If you are a founder, raising capital, developing real estate, or you're an investor, would love for you to get involved in the Family Office Club. I've run this community for 18 years now. We've hosted 300 live events. We have 17 million social media group members and followers. We have the #1 YouTube channel on family offices. We have the #1 most popular podcast on family offices. You can learn more about us and our membership options at familyoffices.com. We have 30 in-person events planned in 2026 and another dozen events this year. Please go to familyoffices.com to learn more.